In this episode, we go inside the Boring Company's underground operations. Starlink just ended internet dead spots forever, and Tesla's new FSD Lite breathes new life into older vehicles, and the first megacharger has arrived. I'm Sean, and this is the Tesla Space. Elon Musk's Boring Company is currently working on the single largest infrastructure project in the United States, their Las Vegas Loop, which in terms of length has already created about 6 times more transportation tunnels than the rest of America combined over the past 25 years. And they've just invited cameras inside the Vegas Loop for the first time to give us a closer look at how these tunnels get made. So, thanks to influencers like Farzad and Dirty Tesla, we now know more about the Boring Company than ever before. Obviously, check out their content as well, but I'm going to summarize the key points that I found the most interesting. And probably the most staggering thing to take in is just the scale of this project, which now connects the Las Vegas Convention Center to the city's internal airport and loops around 3 major hotels, with the beauty of the tunnel concept being that there is essentially no limit to the number of stops that can be added. So if you think about a traditional subway train, for every station that you add, the entire train with everyone on board has to pause and wait for people to get on and off. But with the way that a Boring Company loop is configured, each car is essentially driving from point A to point B and will bypass any stations that fall in between. So except for that one big crazy colored station that everyone sees, the rest are all built on off-ramps that diverge from the main loop, meaning that the main flow of traffic is never disturbed by any one car, and if they ever need more stations or more capacity, they just dig another tunnel. The ability to dig so many tunnels in such a short time is all thanks to an autonomous underground factory concept that the Boring Company has developed, which allows them to mine and build continuously with 0 people inside the tunnel. That is one of the biggest changes that Elon Musk has made to the way his company operates compared with every other tunnel boring project around the world. Traditionally, the boring machine is operated by a crew of 12 people or more who are working inside the tunnel as the digging process is underway. This essentially means that the entire machine becomes a safety system designed around keeping those individuals alive in a very dangerous place. If a Boring Company is spending the majority of their resources on human safety, then that leaves a lot less available to focus on the actual job at hand of digging tunnels. So the first thing that Musk wanted to achieve was 0 people in tunnel. That's where the Boring Company is finally arriving right now. They've gone from 12 people operating their first machine down to 9, and then just 2 on the most recent tunneling operations in Las Vegas, Nashville, and Dubai. But with the introduction of their next boring machine, the ProofRock 6, the tunneling process will be fully automated and controlled from above ground. And what's really interesting about this transition from human labor to automation is that control over the boring machine doesn't need to be done on site anymore. All of the ProofRock machines currently in operation are controlled from Boring Company headquarters in Bastrop, Texas. Even the one that's just begun tunneling all the way in Dubai, halfway around the world, is being driven from Texas. One of the things I love about technology is its ability to reveal things we normally can't see, and today's sponsor, Radiacode, is a perfect example of that. Radiacode is a portable radiation detector and spectrometer that lets you measure and visualize radiation in real time. Unlike traditional Geiger counters, Radiacode can measure radiation up to 40 times faster, while also helping identify specific isotopes through advanced spectrum analysis. It pairs with completely free iOS and Android apps that give you access to powerful features like advanced search mode, detailed accumulated dose, live radiation monitoring, spectrograms, spectrum analysis, and even interactive color-coded radiation maps that track what you've discovered. Whether you're a technology enthusiast, science nerd, maker, researcher, or just someone who loves understanding how the world works, Radiacode opens up an entirely new layer of exploration. You can use it while traveling through cities, visiting museums, hiking through forests, exploring old industrial sites, or conducting your own experiments at home. If you've ever wanted to uncover the invisible world around you, this is one of the coolest tools I've seen for doing exactly that. Get 5% off all Radiacode devices and accessories with the code TESLA2026 at checkout. Just visit radiacode.com or use the link in the description to learn more. One of the most interesting ways that the company has been able to remove people from the mining process has been by automating all of the equipment that surrounds the boring machine itself. That's stuff like the conveyor belts and excavators that remove dirt and rock from the hole. But probably the coolest invention is this buggy that hauls concrete tunnel segments from the surface down into the tunnel. It's actually a Tesla Model 3, just with all of the recognizable car features stripped away and converted into a heavy-duty industrial machine. The concrete segments that it carries are so heavy that the range of the battery is reduced down from over 300 miles to just between 15 and 20 miles. But all of the self-driving features of the Tesla platform allow these things to be remote controlled from Texas as well. And this is where we get into the construction side of the tunneling operation, because it's not all about the boring. In order to achieve the fastest and most efficient performance, Prufrock needs to be continuously digging and building at the same time, essentially creating a mobile underground tunnel production line. So the way that a typical tunnel boring machine works is in two phases. Phase 1 is the actual boring. The cutting head spins, it chews up a bunch of rock, which falls onto a conveyor belt and gets pulled out of the mine. Then they stop and switch to phase 2, which is installing the tunnel wall segments that prevent the whole thing from caving in, and it also gives the boring machine something solid to push off of when it moves forward again. This is probably the biggest reason why most tunneling projects move so slowly, and to a guy like Elon Musk, it presents a very straightforward path to higher efficiency. If the machine can both dig and build at the same time, then it will move at least twice as fast, if not faster. The Boring Company's Prufrock 5 machine has been the first to ever achieve continuous mining so far, and this machine is currently digging test tunnels at Bastrop before being deployed to one of the full-scale loop projects later this year. So what this means is that as fast as the Boring Company is moving right now, they are about to get a whole lot faster. Now, as if it wasn't enough that one of Elon Musk's companies is revolutionizing underground transportation, he's actually got another one that is about to change the way we access the internet forever. We already know that the SpaceX Starlink satellite network has opened up high-speed communication to even the most remote places on Earth, but there was always still one limitation. You needed somewhere to plug in the receiver. Depending on where you are in the world and under what conditions, that could still be a challenge. We've seen Starlink being used inside war zones, violent protests, and natural disaster relief, so reliable power is not always going to be guaranteed. The latest product from SpaceX changes this. Starlink Mini Dish 2 is a compact, square-shaped receiver with an ultra-low power consumption and a built-in battery. Not only that, it seems like this new dish is optimized for use while in motion, making it a literal grab-and-go mobile hotspot. Now, of course, there is a downside. SpaceX is still bound by the laws of physics for now, so the Mini Dish 2 will provide much lower connection speeds. Early tests are showing somewhere between 1 and 20 megabits per second, so this is not a mobile gaming rig, but it is a lifeline to the outside world from even the most remote situations. And with the upcoming Starlink upgrade to V3 satellites, which will be carried into orbit by the Starship rocket, there is hope that even these reduced connection speeds will rise over time. Speaking of which, if you want an opportunity to watch the SpaceX Starship rocket attempt to rise up above the Earth for the 13th time, that is now scheduled for Thursday, July 23rd at 6:45 American Central Time. Now, for those of us who don't have the budget for space travel, there's still the opportunity to experience cutting-edge technology in a self-driving car. And the good news is that Tesla's most advanced autonomous AI model is about to become a lot more accessible. If you're like me and own a Tesla vehicle made prior to 2024, then you've been missing out on the latest and greatest features of Tesla's full self-driving. And unfortunately, there's no way to upgrade the FSD computer from the old hardware 3 to the new hardware 4. But it looks like the company has found a way to work around these limitations with some clever software. So a new AI model called FSD V14 Lite is currently doing limited beta testing on hardware 3 vehicles, and the first reviews are in. According to this ex-user named Zach, V14 Lite updates the entire user interface of the FSD software to make everything more intuitive and visually more interesting. He also notes that the actual driving performance of the car is now greatly improved. Highway driving is smooth with smart lane change and passing decisions, city streets are handled with improved confidence, and the vehicle takes off from stop signs with less hesitation. Self-parking, however, is still not great and has room for improvement. But for a more practical example of what this software can do, check out these two guys who drove 4,200 miles from Key West, Florida to Cape Flattery, Washington State on V14 Lite in a Hardware 3 car and made the trip with zero manual steering, braking, accelerating, or turn signal inputs. They are now driving up to the top of Alaska just for good measure, and the car is still going strong. Tesla Vice President of AI Software Ashok Elswamy has said that this version of FSD is likely ready for wide release and will be going out to the rest of us very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And on the subject of long days on the open road, Tesla has opened its first public megacharger station for the Tesla Semi, giving fleet customer access to dedicated high-power charging infrastructure as the company continues expanding its commercial trucking network. Located in Bloomington, California, about an hour east of Los Angeles, the new site features 6 megacharger stalls capable of delivering over 1 megawatt of peak charging power. The site is strategically located in San Bernardino, California, one of the busiest freight corridors in the United States. This region links the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach with Southern California's vast inland warehouse and distribution network, making it a natural location for high-power charging infrastructure that supports commercial trucking. The Tesla Semi team showed off an earlier station near Ontario International Airport back in March as its first megacharger deployment, but that one was only rated at up to 750 kilowatts and is actually no longer listed on Tesla's Find Us page. Today's Bloomington site is a step up from this site as it features more power per stall.